Hi everyone, welcome back to the Nature Patch. My name is Robyn and thank you so much for joining in on another video. Today I've got a really exciting video. I'm going to be making something that I've never made before and I'm basically going to be turning these flowers here, which are nasturtiums, into a beautiful floral scented jelly slash jam. Nasturtiums are one of my favourite plants to grow in the garden. They're such great nitrogen fixers. They bring the pollinators love the flowers. You can eat the leaves and the flowers and also the little seed pods or capers that come with them. So it's a really versatile plant. The flowers are quite peppery as well as the leaves, but this jam is going to kind of taste exactly how nasturtiums smell, which is that really beautiful floral scent. I should note that this is not my own recipe. I've got this recipe from the Serendipity site. So I'm putting an overlay on the screen now of this recipe, and I'll definitely provide a link in the description box if you want to check out this recipe as well. So it's going to be a follow along style video, and make sure you stick around to the end to see how this turns into a beautiful jelly. Also make sure to like this video and comment down below if this is something that you would try or not, or let me know how you use nasturtiums, because I have so many different nasturtium flowers around right now. They've basically come back the day after I picked them, so I would love to know some more recipes for how to use nasturtiums. I'm going to jump a few days back now to when I was in the kitchen making this jam, so I hope you enjoy. So yesterday afternoon I went round the garden and picked some nasturtium flowers from the range of different plants that we have in our garden. We have the really standard kind of yellow, really bright, vibrant nasturtium flowers, some orange ones, and also some darker, really deep red burgundy nasturtium flowers that really are going to make this jam a really, really cool colour. So I collected about 2 cups of nasturtium flowers, and after that I gave them a bit of a rinse in some water. So I just filled the bowl up with water and let it sit for a while, and that kind of allowed all of the different bugs that were in some of those flowers. Tried to save as many as I could, but that just allowed to extract some of those before I started to process the flowers, because I don't particularly want bugs in the jelly that I'm going to be making. So once you kind of let those sit and you can skim out all of the bugs on the top, after that I put all of the flowers into a heat-proof jar, just a glass jar, and then over that poured 2 cups of boiling water over the top. And that makes your nasturtium tea that's going to be the flavour of this jelly. So the recipe says that you can leave it for a few hours. I left it to cool overnight and then just put it in the fridge this morning while I was out and about doing things. So it was sitting there overnight. Then after that, just recently, right now, I gave it a good drain. So I drained it through a sieve and also just a linen cloth as well. You can use a cheesecloth if you've got that. I don't personally have one of those, but I just found a nice linen cloth and strained it through that, because you don't want any of the flowers getting into the jelly. So when I was making the tea, it went an awesome, really cool color. Kind of looks like a bit of a potion, and I'm really excited to see how this jelly mixture kind of turns out. So the next step is I've got it all in a saucepan here, and I think we're going to heat this up and bring it to a boil. Alright, so it actually says to bring your tea and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice to a boil. So I'm going to measure out 2 tablespoons of some freshly squeezed lemon juice and put that into my mixture. It went a really cool color actually. Okay, it's gone a really cool color, and I'm gonna show you again what this kind of mixture is. Kind of like a science class really. So I'll put in another tablespoon. It kind of turns it into like this bright, vibrant red color. So we're going to heat that up and bring that all to a boil. While that's coming to a boil, you want to get your pectin ready. So I couldn't find actual just plain pectin in the shops. I could have used some orange peels and kind of the orange seeds that I've got, but I just don't have enough time for that today. So I'm going to use this jam setter. It's got pectin in it, and it uses sugar as a carrier. So you've always just got to look at the directions of whatever pectin you're using. So I'm probably going to use about 1/4 of this packet, and if I need to add more, I can add more to be kind of that jelly consistency that we're after. The recipe says to add your pectin in first and then boil it. I'm just going to be putting my pectin in with my sugar. So it says to use 3.5 cups of sugar for this recipe. I've just got normal white sugar. So I'm going to be adding that in with some of my pectin when this comes to a boil. Okay, so this mixture is starting to come to a boil. So I have my measured sugar out here. This is just over 2 cups, and then I've got some more to the back, and I'm going to add this in now, I guess. It just says to bring your tea and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice to a boil, and then add your pectin, and then add the sugar. For this pectin, it says to add it with sugar, so I'm just going to add them both into this mixture here. And then about 1/4 of this packet into here. Hopefully that's not too much. Hopefully that's okay measurement wise. We shall see. And then I have to return it to a boil for about 5 minutes or so and skim off the foam as I go. Okay, so it's probably been about 8 minutes or so now, and I can tell that it's starting to thicken up a little bit. I've just been scraping away the excess foam that kind of comes onto the top, but I'm going to give it a test now to see how kind of set it is. And the way I like to do this is to take a little kind of plate or a bowl, pop it into the freezer so that this plate is nice and cold, and then grab a little bit of the mixture, and it should set pretty quickly, and you can start to get an idea of how well set it is. I don't want this to be a really thick jam. I want it to be more of like a syrupy jelly kind of texture. And that's kind of what this is looking like at the moment. It's not moving too much around the plate, but still a little bit, so it has that kind of syrupy texture. Okay, so I'm going to turn the heat off of that, and in the oven I've just got a jar warming up that was sterilized. So it's really important to have your jars warm when you're adding a warm mixture into glass. I've heard a lot of stories of things going very wrong when you use really cold glass and a hot mixture, particularly if your glasses are old. Then I'm going to use my trusty pourer and pour this mixture into this glass jar and then seal it up. Alrighty, let's see how well I can pour this in here. Definitely made a lot more than I thought it would, which is cool. So I'll be filling up another jar, and as always when you're filling up jars you just want to keep a little bit of a gap between where you fill it up to and the top. This is particularly important if you're sealing your jars. For me, this is actually just going to go straight into the fridge and I'm going to be using it, so it's not really imperative for me to worry about that too much, but if I was going to store this for a long time, then I would start to worry about that. So I'm just going to pop the top on and then really loosely pop the cap on. Again, it doesn't matter too much if I don't get the seal, because I am going to be using this straight away as well. Alrighty, so this here is the finished result. I've got 2 jars of this now, and it's gone really nice and thick after I've kept it in the fridge for at least a day or 2. It's definitely not as thick as a jam. It's definitely more of a jelly syrup consistency, and this is absolutely beautiful. So that's the consistency that you're after at the end, and I absolutely love having this on scones. It's probably my favorite way that I've tried to have this nasturtium jelly is actually on vanilla ice cream. It is super, super delicious. So I really hope you enjoyed seeing how I made this beautiful nasturtium jelly. It's definitely something that I'm going to be making in the future. It was super easy, and I was really surprised at how little nasturtium flowers you actually needed. And as soon as I picked the nasturtium flowers outside, they pretty much grew back the next day, and I had the exact same amount of flowers. So definitely let me know if you try this recipe, and make sure to head over to the Serendipity page and give them a follow as well. This recipe is so amazing, so I'm very thankful that I found it over there on their website. Thank you so much for watching this video again. I hope you're all having a lovely day wherever you are in the world. Make sure to like this video if you have made it this far, and if you have made it this far, definitely leave a comment down below on what your favorite way to use nasturtiums is. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, happy gardening everyone. Bye.